right, what's up everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome back to New York. We're on 57th Street and Madison Avenue. It's pretty late, apologies for the delay, but it's that time of year, it's busy season again. City's kind of died down a little bit. Today was crazy walking around the city. This was probably the largest kind of tourist activity I've ever seen, which is really good news. We'll get started in a moment. Lots of corporate earnings, not many of the, I should say, major companies are reporting because they've already reported earnings, but some interesting ones nonetheless. So we'll talk about it in a few. We'll see Lena, what's going on, Sarah, Doc 7, good to see you. Alan is here. Always a pleasure. Victor C. Alfredo, or Al Ruiz. What's up, Al? Philip Robinson says, hello, Tom, how's it going? It's going pretty good. I had a really good weekend. I hope you had a very good weekend. We're looking at the Louis Vuitton store here, as well as the Tiffany building, right on the corner of 57th Street and 5th Avenue. Stephen Bate, what's going on? Mighty Mole says, I was able to golf 8 out of the past 11 days. Love that. Good to see you. Mark is here. Shirley, Reggie, 44. We'll get started here in a moment, everybody. Felix says, hello, Tom. Headed up there on Wednesday for Thanksgiving with my daughter. Wow. Very cool. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Hopefully you're going to have a wonderful time here in New York. It's definitely looking like the holiday season in New York City, which is great. So happy Thanksgiving to all, especially if you're traveling. It's going to be a very, very busy travel season. I'll just give you guys one more look at the facade of the Louis Vuitton store, and then we'll go ahead and get started. But we'll just do the quick audio and visual check if you guys can hear us. And if we're streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up in the chat and we will get started. It's going to be a pretty busy week, obviously, with Thanksgiving. It's going to be a shortened week on Wall Street, but some notable earnings reports nonetheless, some economic data we're going to be getting out, so talk about it. And we finally have the big star, the snowflake, I guess. That's right here in the center of 5th Avenue. And then you can see the Amman, New York, or the Crown Building. Last night I was able to get you guys inside the Plaza Hotel, which was pretty awesome. I'll see if I can get you inside there tonight. Probably not, since it's already almost 10 o'clock at night. But for those of you who didn't catch the live stream last night, we were able to go inside the plaza, and it looked really good. They did a really good job. So, Felix, welcome. Rat Fink, cheers. Kathleen says, I see rain predicted for New York City on Thursday. Yeah, I saw that too, because I think I'm planning on going to the parade this year. But yeah, you're right. I saw that. Every single day this week is going to be beautiful, but on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving Day, I think it's going to rain. It says a 75% likelihood of rain, which kind of stinks. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's only Sunday night. A lot can change between now and then. Maybe it'll be, a picture perfect day. We just don't know. All right, with that being said, I think we can go ahead and get started. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Walks in Wall Street. It is a beautiful and gorgeous Sunday evening here in New York City, and we're reporting live from the corner of 57th Street and 5th Avenue You can see the Amman, New York, the main Louis Vuitton building, the main Tiffany building, and the Snowflake that sits right dead center in the middle of Fifth. Now, earnings season is pretty much in the rear view mirror, but we do have some notable companies that are set to report this week. I would say it's very top heavy for the retail sector of the market. Speaking of Thanksgiving, we're going to have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we're also going to have Macy's, ticker symbol M, report earnings before Thanksgiving. We're also going to have some major retailers like Best Buy reporting, Abercrombie and Fitch, Macy's, as we mentioned. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these companies report, particularly their forward guidance, right? What are the CEOs thinking for the holiday season? Do they think consumer spending is going to be robust? Do they think the consumer is going to fall flat on its face for the 2024 holiday season? I guess that's yet to be seen, but with all of the major tech companies already reported earnings, it looks like at least corporate America is going to have quite the white Christmas, if you will, or you could say green Christmas. So here's what we'll do tonight, since once again I apologize for being late. We'll try to go inside the Plaza Hotel. We'll go to Rockefeller Center. We'll get out to 34th Street. We'll check out the Lotte New York Palace. And we'll kind of just have a little bit of a chat about the markets. Now, Bitcoin and gold. Gold has reclaimed its 50-day moving average. I think we'll see new all-time record highs for gold before the end of the year, which would put gold right around $2,800 an ounce. I think it'll probably get to $3,000 an ounce over the long term for the precious metal. I wouldn't be surprised if silver starts to get involved in the party. And who knows, maybe next week after Thanksgiving, we'll see 100,000 on Bitcoin. Now, I think intraday on Friday, we hit 99,750 on the spot. Futures contracts for Bitcoin briefly hit over 100,000. I think $100,102 to be exact. We'll see. There's a massive, massive sell wall at 100,000. Similar, if you go all the way back to the first time Bitcoin hit 10,000. I remember it very, very vividly, even though it was quite some time ago. There was a massive sell wall at 10,000 on Bitcoin. It took us about 3 weeks to chew through that, and then we were backing off into new all-time record highs. So with that being said, let's see who we have in the audience, and we'll say hello to everybody in the chat. I see Allie French is here. Cindy Foley, what's going on? The Candy Canes are back too, by the way. Bree Grams, what's going on? Connie Ruiz, Richard, Reggie 44, Stephen Arrow, Shirley, Joseph Hardaway. Welcome everybody. Andy, AJ, DC322 says we will expect to have more Cyber Monday sales than Black Mondays or than Black Friday sales. We'll see. I feel as if Black Friday kind of simmered down a little bit because the true original Black Friday was like almost too dangerous, so to speak. Anybody remember the Black Friday, like the original Black Fridays when everybody would like trample each other and fight each other over consumer goods? Yeah, I think most companies kind of put a stop to that. Now everything is kind of transitioned online. I think that's a good thing. Anyway, Ben is here. Good to see you, Ben. Cheers to you. I'll try to get you guys just a quick peek inside the plaza, as the decorations are quite nice, frankly put. Feels very warm in here, figuratively speaking and literally speaking. For those of you who missed the live stream yesterday, I'll give you all a second look at the plaza. Hey, Clarence Jackson, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Thank you for supporting. Appreciate it. And I agree. I also remember when they had the shops at the plaza. That was before the COVID virus. I don't think they do it anymore. But there used to be like Luke's Lobster down there, a bunch of coffee shops. It used to be quite nice, but what do you guys think of the lobby of the Plaza Hotel? Hey, what's up, Ethan G? Good to see you. Now, if you walk through these doors over here, that's the main hotel lobby, but you need to be, obviously, show your pass, like a hotel key card, in order to get there. I want to also show you guys the details on the floor. This is all original, like very, very nice flooring here. What I'll also do, kind of like what we did on last night's stream, we'll go to the restaurant and the bar. It's kind of nice. Hey, Jack Jackson, thank you so much. That's right, guys, we hit 60,000 people on the live broadcast, so I want to thank everybody for making the stream what it is. I appreciate you guys. I think we have an amazing group of people here, so it's pretty cool. 60,000 people. Awesome stuff. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Also, the stained glass ceiling. It's really quite nice in here. I think all those flowers are real too. So if you saw Clarence Jackson's comment, if you go all the way down here, this is the shops at the plaza, but unfortunately it is no longer open. Unfortunately, I believe it closed down during or after the COVID pandemic. This is the Eloise at the plaza. I'll give you guys one more look at the floor again. I don't think the stream does it justice, but the floor is really nice. We usually only come in here around the holidays, so it's kind of nice to take it in and enjoy it while it's here. Say again?
No video recording while there's people over here and stuff.
Oh, sure.
All right?
Sure,
Yeah,
no worries.
No video recording.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll head out. The guy's getting a little upset. We'll see if we can head to the Lotte New York Palace. It is really quite nice. And this is the first time I recognize this clock on the top of the entrance. Super nice. All right, let's make our way out. What do you guys think? I think the decor is very nice. We'll go to the main entrance of the residences, which, by the way, hopefully pretty soon, I'd say very, very early Q1, we're going to have a really nice listing inside the plaza. Hopefully I'll be able to get some video footage for you guys. It's a really nice 3-bedroom unit here at the plaza, and it's a corner unit too. But the corner unit is a little bit further down. It's not a corner unit that's right on. How should I explain this? It's not the corner unit closest to the GM building. It's a corner unit closer down here. So this is the main entrance if people live here, residences only. It's quite nice, right? All right, let's go to Avenue of the Americas and make a left. And then we'll head down Radio City Music Hall. We'll kind of make all those stops. Now, I wasn't able to kind of check out where futures are trading at tonight, but I am kind of not having any major expectations for this week. More than likely, this week is a non-issue. I should say most people are out. At least most people in New York kind of call this week a wash. Right, with Thanksgiving being on Thursday, highly doubt nobody's going to be making any significant changes in their investments during the holiday week, but you never know. I think the biggest and most consequential earnings report that we're going to get this week is Dell, ticker symbol DELL. Should be quite interesting, but overall I think it's going to be a pretty low volume week. Pops, what's going on? Cruz, welcome. Good to see you. Brad's brain, cheers. Now, there was an awesome cover story in Investors Business Daily this weekend. I'm not sure if you guys were able to read it yet, but it was all about Oracle. And it's such an amazing lesson, kind of when I was reading that article and reflecting on it, because if you think about cloud computing, when the major cloud computing companies just started, obviously Amazon's AWS had the first mover advantage there. But if you read some of Larry Ellison's old statements, I should say, or old writings about the cloud or cloud computing in general, he was very, very bearish and negative on the entire idea of cloud computing and SaaS, like a subscription-based software service. And Oracle's bread and butter business was selling software licenses, right? Massive software company. So Oracle was behind the eight ball, I should say, mainly during the massive cloud renaissance. You had Amazon AWS as the main cohort driver of cloud computing. Then you had Microsoft Azure and Google's Google Cloud. Those are the three main big competitors. But now Oracle has really come around. And in their most recent earnings report, for the first time, their cloud subscription revenue surpassed their licenses revenue, right? And the lesson is, even though you're late to the game, and even if you are wrong on something, right, which Larry Ellison now admits that they were extremely, extremely wrong on the cloud, just as long as you're not stubborn and you're willing to adapt and pivot and be very malleable in your business decisions, right, you can kind of pivot very fast, you can do really, really well. And now Oracle is the fastest growing cloud computing platform. Obviously, that's a little bit, I wouldn't say disingenuous to say that, but it doesn't encompass the full context, because obviously Oracle is going to grow faster when they have the least amount of market share. Does that make sense? As opposed to AWS, Azure, and Google's Google Cloud, obviously being more established, but Oracle is growing substantially. And, their revenue growth has been accelerating for the last 4 quarters. Their stock has been hitting new all-time record highs. So if you have not read that cover story, that article, it is a really, really good article, because it encompasses both a history of software, right, the big kings in Silicon Valley, which Oracle, arguably the pioneer in software. Larry Ellison is a major player in Silicon Valley. A little bit of a history on the first mover advantage of Amazon AWS. And then last but not least, how Oracle kind of pivoted to the cloud. So check it out. Anybody here in the audience ever work for Oracle? Maybe you have your own Oracle stories, done business with them. Any thoughts? Hey, Joel PM says many moved or are moving to Open JRE. Oops. To get away from Oracle Java licensing. That's one thing we're going to have to deal with this holiday season is all of the, what do you call them? The pedicabs with the blaring music. Hey, Jonathan Richards says, hey Tom, hope you're doing well. I am doing fantastic. I had a very good weekend. I feel like I got a lot done. Next week is going to be a busy week in terms of work-wise, but in the market, hopefully things will be pretty mellow. Nothing crazy will happen. We'll see. Now, totally not finance related. Larry Ellison, I think we talked about this before, but up until about a few weeks ago, I had no idea that he's like 80 years old. And he looks like he's like 50 years old. I mean, he looks really, really good. He does not look like an 80-year-old man at all. Crazy. Wow, Peter says Oracle has risen in price quite a lot in the past several months. I have had it as a core position since 1997. Wow, holy crap. Well, definitely congratulations are in order there. That's amazing. You've held your Oracle position pretty much almost the entire duration of my life. That's pretty wild. What's the compounded annual growth rate on that investment? That's tremendous. Mark Francis says he eats right and he's always out and he has a tan. I don't know, but he does not look like an 80-year-old at all. Let's see if they have any holiday stuff going on at the Hilton flagship. Anyway, if you just Google Investors Business Daily Oracle, it's a really good article to kind of, even if you need to print it out and put it on your desk and reread it a couple times, because that is the future, right? That is where all of our growth is going to come from, right? There was a little bit of an excerpt in the article about Oracle's partnership with NVIDIA, you know, the forward-looking projections of data centers either in operation right now or being built out by Oracle. And the hyperscalers, right, we talk about this all the time, the businesses that I think are going to drive the vast majority of growth, thus the vast majority of, you know, stock price appreciation, is going to come from those hyperscaler businesses, like the cloud computing companies, right? If you think about this age of AI, all of these different startups, these enterprises are going to need to train their models to build their own AIs. And if you think about the vast amounts of data these big enterprises have, you know, maybe they could start to train AI models on vast amounts of structured data. Which brings me to another company that I've been watching for a long time, but it just hasn't really been growing as explosively as when it first IPO'd. And the company is called Box, ticker symbol BOX. And the CEO is Aaron Levy. I'm not sure if anybody's ever used the product. Maybe you use Box at work. But essentially it's like a big data storage platform. It allows you to easily organize and containerize your data. Essentially, there's so much unstructured data out there in the world. These particular platforms like Box help massive organizations categorize and structure their data. So who knows, maybe, you know, if I was looking at the stock price of Box, it has pretty steady earnings growth and pretty steady revenue growth. It's just not explosive, right? You have single-digit revenue growth, you know, low double-digit earnings growth, but the stock is trading near all-time record highs. I know that there was a big activist investor in there maybe a few quarters ago that made a big position, but we'll see. I moved the stock onto the watch list. I probably will not be buying it, but it feels as if the company fits the bill for, how should I say this, the next few years, for lack of a better term. MBA Elias says, Tom, I currently use Box for all my business and personal data storage and have used it since the company launched. So what do you think about it? Any thoughts? Music to relax to, says this century data is king. I would agree. This is Steinway Tower. I remember back in 2014, Chamath Palihapitiya, who was one of the founding members of Facebook, I think he was either one of the top, or the first 10 employees or the first 50 employees at Facebook, one of the two. Anyway, he gave a big keynote speech on how he thinks that Box is going to be the best performing stock of the next decade. It wasn't a great prediction because the stock has really gone nowhere since IPO, but you never know. I mean, it's trading at all-time record highs right now. This big group of people right here is the Spirit of America people, and every year they stay at the Hilton Hotel. So if you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, as you see here, this is the Spirit of America. I think they're like high school students or cheerleaders or something like that. They stay at the Hilton Hotel. Anyway, Carl Roth says, Tom, have been using Box for a while here. They're the best. Very good. Peter says, my Oracle position has gone up 18 and a half times since 1997. Holy crap. Well, God bless, man. That's awesome. Philip, what's going on? Cheers. MBA Elias, Box is awesome. Have never had a problem with them. Or security breaches, software and services that runs the platform are awesome as well. That's good to know. I had one negative experience with Box, but it was from like a hiring standpoint. The interview, I was interviewing for an enterprise account executive position at Box. This was, 2016 maybe? And the interview process was just so weird. Like, there was no tech talk. There was no, sales strategy talk. It was all about, and I'm not just saying this, it's true, it was all about, diversity and lovey-dovey questions and all nonsense. You know, what do you look for in a diverse workforce? What does inclusion mean to you? And it was just a weird interview. I was like, what the heck? That was weird. Obviously, I didn't get a call back or I didn't get a job. But the recruiter that I talked to at Box was cool. We were going back and forth, talking about my current role, what I'm doing, how I can bring value to the company. I was talking about my current book of business. And then the lady that I met with was some manager, a big area sales manager, I guess. And there was no sales talk. It was just about all the, I don't know. Anyway, it was weird. Jill Morgan, what's going on? Cheers. Maybe we'll make a left here. And we'll let some of the tourists go by. DB5 versus sounds like a woke interview. It was. I just don't want to, I know that it's kind of a sensitive topic now with everything going on, but yeah, it was like woke times 50. It was all nonsense. I'm the type of person that just can't deal with any of that stuff. I just want to be allowed to work. I don't want to talk to anybody about inclusivity. Just put me at a desk, give me a phone, let me make calls. I don't want to talk to anybody else about anything. All right, let's go. I really want to take one look at that Cartier store. Yikes. It looks like the NYPD is rushing to get somewhere. Carl Roth's box builds their software strategy on the strength of its people, not the bottom dollar. Maybe, but I mean the company's not growing, right? That's why they had to have that big activist investor come in. I mean, if you look at all the major enterprise software companies and big data and cloud companies, all of them over the last decade have gone up 500 to 1,000%. Their revenue growth has been double digits. Box's revenue growth has been single digit, right? Maybe that'll change, and that's why I'm kind of covering the stock right now, but there's been like zero growth. It's been single digit revenue growth for a company that should really be kind of blowing it out of the water. We'll see. I mean, I'm optimistic about it. I don't have a position in the company, but if you look at a monthly chart of the company, if you just go on, Bloomberg or tradingview.com, go on a monthly time frame, and the stock is hovering near record highs, but it hasn't broken out in a new all-time record high since it went public. And I think it went public in like 2014 or 2015, somewhere around there. Jeez. That guy was going crazy fast. Michael says, I told people that I identify as a billionaire. Now, funny enough, did anybody see the Barron's article today about billionaires? 2023 was a record year for billionaire growth. I think there's over 3,600 billionaires. And do you guys want to guess which country had the, in terms of a percentage basis, the largest percentage basis growth in billionaires? Does anybody want to have a guess? Hey, what's up, John? Good to see you. I think many of you are going to guess it. Troy says US by far. Yeah, Professor Dario, you're correct. India, you're right. You're correct. So on a percentage basis, in 2023, the country that had the most explosive growth for billionaires was India, the highest on a percentage basis. But North America, by far, specifically the United States, has the highest concentration and the most billionaires. But that makes sense, because if you think about the Indian stock market, Nifty 50, over the course of 2023, it's been an absolute rip-roaring bull market in India, and the economy is growing really fast, right? I am very, very bullish on India over the long term. Hey, go for hockey's what's going on. Now, I'm trying to think If you go to my X page or my Twitter page, whatever you want to call it, and you go to @WalksWallStreet, I just tweeted out, because I was at the office reading this article. I think India has like 134 billionaires now, up from 16 or something crazy. You could look it up, or you could just go, Barron's.com billionaire index. Carl Roth says India has so much potential, lots of issues needed to be solved there. Yeah, I would say, the problem, along with every country in the world, is you just have a massive, massive wealth divide. And in India, I've never personally been there, but I know people who have been there. The wealth divide is really on display in India. From people I know, they say if you go there, you'll have the ultra, ultra, ultra wealthy living literally right on top of everybody else who lives on like $1, $2 a day. So India needs to kind of figure out how to really build a super strong middle class, but the economy is really good. So hey Joanne, good to see you. We're now outside of St. Patrick's Cathedral. I just want to go over to the New York Palace, or the Lotte Palace. Leslie says India puts out some brilliant people. Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, think about a lot of these big tech CEOs, right? The lion's share of them are Indian. Super smart, super driven, highly, highly educated, intelligent. And that's obviously one of the many factors that have, attributed to their success as a country. Just very, very smart people, for sure. Now, speaking of that, I also wanted, before I forget, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to recommend a really good video I think everybody should watch. And then number two, I wanted to talk about a little bit. So, CEO of Citadel Securities, Ken Griffin, who we talk about oftentimes here on Walks on Wall Street, he just made an appearance at the New York Economic Club. And one of the things he talked about was immigration. Now, as I always say here, the reason why nobody will ever be able to compete with the United States on a global scale is because we are a brain drain on the rest of the world. Most everybody who's talented, highly educated, wants to come to the United States to compete or to build a business or to live a better life. So Ken Griffin was telling a story in front of the Economic Club in New York, and he was talking about the presidential election. One of the questions was, what do you think about President-elect Trump? What do you think about the election overall? And what do you think the American people are thinking, right, that they elected President Trump? And he says, one of the things that, and this is Ken Griffin speaking, right? He's like, one of the things that I think is that the American people voted that we want to fix our broken immigration policy, right? He's like, if you look back, one of the main reasons, right, why the United States is so successful is because of immigration. The lion's share of the best companies, the greatest American companies were founded and created by immigrants, right? And he's like, now that we have a broken immigration system, there's massive chaos, flood at the border. A lot of people think that they're being overlooked and overpassed. He briefly mentioned the H-1B visa, which we talk about at length. It is such a laborious process to get. And he's like, hopefully this administration will be able to fix the broken immigration system and allow and encourage the best and brightest individuals from all over the world to come to the United States to build businesses and drive economic growth here. And then he said, in the same breath, as we're looking at the New York Palace, he said, I was just in Europe meeting with some of the top policymakers in Europe. And one of the things that came up in conversation is that almost all of our European talent in software, in healthcare, in AI, almost all of it is lost to the United States of America. And this is Ken Griffin speaking, right? Ken Griffin's like, I just came back from Europe, meeting with some of the top policymakers in Europe, and they say, we just don't get it. We're losing all of our talent, some of the top talent in artificial intelligence, some of the top talent in healthcare. It's all being lost to the United States. And I would say that it's going to continue to be lost to the United States as Europe continues on with their crazy socialist policies. But I won't get too much into the politics of it all. But the reason why I want to bring that up is because there's a lot of people that get very, very negative, right? The perma bears, as I call them. They get very, very negative and pessimistic on the United States, but what they forget, and many of the people that are perma bears and negative Nellies on America, they're purebred born Americans, right? So they're totally lost touch with reality. But if you take a trip around the world, right, and talk to someone who's not an American citizen, overwhelmingly, people want to come to the United States to build businesses, right? It's just, if you are an American, unfortunately, you've been, more than likely, if you've gone to an American university or a college, you've probably been brainwashed to hate this country by socialists, communists, and Ivy League educators. But the reality is, if you take a trip around the world, everybody is stampeding to get here, right? The best and brightest minds, because we have individual freedoms, we have individual property rights, free and fair markets, and so long as that continues, the United States will be a brain drain on the rest of the world. We will. And economic growth and prosperity will continue in perpetuity forever, because that is the American way. Our founding values, and that's embedded into our Constitution, essentially says, if you want to come here legally, right, you will have an equal opportunity to the American dream. If you want to work hard, you could do anything here, right? You can come here as an immigrant, start a company in your garage, and grow it into a multi-trillion-dollar company, right? That's happened multiple times here in the United States. So the reason why I bring up that Ken Griffin interview is to always say, look, lean bullish on the American economy. And it's very, very important that politically we keep those core founding principles in place, right? And we don't go by the way of the Europeans. We keep free and fair markets. We encourage capital creation. We encourage a fair business environment. And you're going to see the U.S. capital markets rock over the long term. So if you go on YouTube, just type in Economic Club in New York, Ken Griffin, and listen to the whole interview, because it's very, very helpful, right? Because Ken Griffin, obviously one of the wealthiest men on the planet, has access to a lot of lawmakers, politicians all over the world, and these people can't understand why they're losing so much talent to America, but to us here in America, it's quite obvious. So always kind of try to lean optimistic. Anyway, this is the Lotte New York Palace, which is quite nice. We're a little late, so we can't kind of walk around the inside. Maybe one of these nights I'll be able to get you guys here on time. And this is looking at the very back of St. Patrick's Cathedral. James says, hey Tom, as a Canadian, I can confirm you're 100% correct. CAD USD is 30 cents less for every dollar. To put in the perspective, the same $48,000 car in the US costs 66,000 CAD. That's 18,000 more you need after tax. Well, I love Canada, but again, I don't want to be too political, but Trudeau, you guys got to get him the hell out of there. I don't know what the heck I mean, that guy is destroying that country. The only thing, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, and to kind of knock the United States a little bit here, we've been very incompetent in the U.S. over the last decade in terms of immigration, right? We've made it near impossible for people with talent to come here. So it's kind of a joke in the immigrant community. Living in New York City, being from New York, I know a lot of immigrants, both legal and illegal. And the joke is, if you want to come to America legally, you're going to get your balls busted constantly, nonstop. You're going to be on a 12-year journey through mountains and mountains of paperwork, legalese, and nonsense. So if you want to come to the United States the legal way, it's extremely laborious and it's extremely difficult. But if you want to come here illegally, we'll give you a few debit cards and we'll put you up in a hotel. So that's fundamentally broken, right? What we want to do is treat everybody fairly. We want to tell immigrants to come here. If you have an advanced degree, if you want to come here to work at an American company, we should be issuing more H-1B visas, right? We should be allowing these people from all over the world, from all different countries, to come here the legal way, right? It shouldn't be the opposite. We should be making it extremely easy for people to come here the legal way, and we should be making it extremely difficult for people to come here illegally, right? Now that may sound a little bit harsh, but over the long run, that's actually safer for all immigrants. Okay, the way we're doing it now is just absolutely ass backwards, because if you think about an immigrant trying to come to the United States walking thousands of miles to the Mexican border, is that safe for women and children to walk through cartel-infested lands? Probably not. Let me just cross the street here. If anything, that just gives more power to the cartels, right, and the coyotes. So we don't want people walking thousands of miles so they can get sold into sex slavery, right? That's not what we want. We want to abolish all of that malfeasance and malpractice, and we want to make it very easily for people to do it the legal way. So we don't have to have this, multi-billion-dollar cartel enterprise of human trafficking, child trafficking, sex trafficking across the border. So that's the biggest blunder the United States has made over the years. So hopefully that system will get fixed. It's just overall safety, right? I'm seeing a lot of Zoom. All right, let's continue to walk up. Someone's just migrating to Teams right now. Jose says Zoom. Alan says, I don't understand the Teams hate. Here's my problem with Zoom. If you're a person that's on the road all the time and you need to call into Zoom, it's almost near impossible to call into Zoom. It's so laborious, particularly if you don't have the application. Professor Dario says, I think Zoom is perfect for education. I did not know the other reasons. You know what I also think it is? You know what could also be a possibility? If you're used to using a piece of software and then your company says, hey, we're migrating to another piece of software, there's always going to be resistance from people, right? You know and you like what you're used to doing. So over time, you'll probably get used to it. So I try to keep that bias in check for myself because I never really use Zoom. Every company that I work for usually was like a Microsoft Teams shop. So, wow, Mac Rush says, Tom, Zoom is not allowed in my 150K plus company. It has security issues. Whoa. Wow, really? Huh. Well, speaking of security, I think we have CrowdStrike. And speaking of security issues, CrowdStrike had that major outage. I think many people have gotten over that because the stock has rallied back almost to all-time record highs. So CrowdStrike will be reporting earnings this week as well. Palo Alto Networks also reported last week. They reported a pretty good quarter, but slight deceleration on revenue. Professor Dario says, you are correct. I used Meet, Blackboard, Teams, and Skype. But for my job, Zoom is easiest. Copy that. Yeah, 1962. We might as well head down to Macy's now and check out. Maybe they finished putting up everything for the parade. We'll see. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, this Thursday, we're going to be sending out our free investing newsletter. We're going to be talking about a lot, so if you want to receive that to your email box this Thursday, well, actually, we may move it from Thursday. We may send it out a day early because it's Thanksgiving, or we may send it out on Monday. But if you scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, that'll take you to our Substack. We're going to be covering a lot. Probably do an overall earnings recap. We'll see. Brenton R. Long says our whole company is a Microsoft shop, so Teams it is. Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing, right? It's if you have Teams for free in the Microsoft stack, there's no reason to buy, have 50,000 different software vendors. And I think that's one of the main things that you saw from the 2021 bust, right? So if we think about Mark Zuckerberg, right, calling the age of efficiency, COVID was so crazy for everybody. Everyone was, falling over each other to migrate their entire infrastructure to the cloud and build out a remote infrastructure for their organization. And with that, they overbuilt and overspent, and there was a lot of duplicity within software, right? I mean, the company I worked at, we had Teams, we had Blue Jeans, I think was one crazy one that was called. I think it was like a Verizon product or an Uber product. It was like Uber Meet. It was just, we had 1,000 different platforms, which was so confusing. So once everybody started to realize, okay, this is crazy, the CTOs at all these companies are like, look, we're going to do a mass consolidation. We don't need Zoom. We don't need Teams. We don't need, Google Meet. We don't need all of these different software vendors that do the same thing. Let's hyper consolidate our tech stack. And I think that's why you saw the big blowout in Zoom, because there's no way that Zoom could have kept up 400% revenue growth, 400% earnings growth quarter over quarter. And then you saw massive earnings compression. So here's Radio City Music Hall. Hey, Jimmy Boyles, thank you so much for your very generous $10 donations. It's a great job on 60K. Keep up the great work. I tell everybody about the channel. I appreciate that, and that's true. I forgot almost. We hit 60,000 people here on Walks on Wall Street, so I appreciate each and every one of you. This is pretty fun, and I think we all learn a lot. I learn a lot from our conversations, and we've covered some crazy financial events over the last 3 years here. So Jimmy, thank you for your donation, and thank you everybody for watching and reading the newsletter. Appreciate all of you. Let's quickly cross the street, and then we'll head down to Macy's. We'll see the rest of the Christmas lights. Guys, this is what I was talking about the other night. You see these big Christmas ornaments? They're just starting to put these up. This should probably be finished probably by tomorrow morning. Oh, wow. Brenton Long says, we used to use WebEx mostly, then consolidated to Teams during the pandemic. We use WebEx too. That's a Cisco product. I actually used to sell a lot of Cisco software back in the day. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that. Cisco WebEx. I used to do a lot of demos, like product demos on WebEx. That's a blast from the past. I'm not even sure if that's around anymore, is it? So when I used to be in tech sales, whenever we would do our final presentation or like our demos to customers, I would do the presentations for sales in WebEx. It was a little bit easier to screen share. I could also remote cast in. So like if I was trying to walk an engineer through a product, I could remote into their screen and just do like a takeover the screen control. Wow, what a blast from the past. Cisco WebEx. This is pretty cool. Hey, Shane Football Life. Yeah, we can zoom down to the World Trade Center. If you look in the distance really closely, you can see the spire of the World Trade Center right there. But thank you so much for your $2 donation. Appreciate it very, very much. And then this is Radio City Music Hall here. I think I've heard this song probably 1,000 too many times, 2,000 too many times. Now, what is the conferencing software that's a Verizon product? I think it's called Blue Jeans or New Jeans or something. I think New Jeans is like a Korean K-pop group. Dale says Blue Jeans, got it. And it has been sunset, really, wow. I remember using that one a few times. Also, Uber, I think, at one point had their own conferencing software. Yeah, Carl Roth, I'm not too sure where futures are trading at right now. Does anybody know where the S&P 500 E-mini futures are trading? Or the NASDAQ 100 or the Dow futures? NBA Elias says Zoom is the most popular video conferencing software with a market share of about 55%. Now here's an interesting exercise on valuation. Now, if you guys look at a chart of Zoom, right, ticker symbol ZM, and being that they have the largest market share in video conferencing, why do you guys think the stock is trading near 52-week lows? This is actually, these exercises are done in like business school, like valuation. So why do you think that is, right? If you go back and do a post-analysis of the stock Zoom, ticker symbol ZM, and its massive move, why do you think the stock is not moving? This is actually a pretty cool view here. Well, it's that if you look at the growth trajectory during COVID, on a quarter-over-quarter basis, revenue growth was being sustained at 400%, quarter over quarter. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. And it was like 400% plus EPS growth quarter over quarter. So the stock, right, that company Zoom had all of its growth jam-packed into 18 months. So the entire company gained all of its market share in an 18-month span. The stock went to Mars. Now it's obviously not growing at 400%. So nobody buys the stock based upon what it did during COVID. People buy the stock based upon what it is going to do, its projected earnings in the future, right? That's why, many investors on Wall Street, they'll build something that's called like a DCF model, discounted cash flow model, to understand the present value of a company's future earnings, right? So if the earnings growth and the sales growth isn't going to be explosive, if it can't sustain 400% plus revenue and earnings growth, well, then the PE is going to compress and the valuation is going to come down. So at first, when the stock was going crazy, it went through something called a multiple expansion, right, where its PE expanded, the price to sales, price to earnings, everything expanded, and now you have the exact opposite, which is compression. And who knows, maybe it'll get recycled now that a lot of these high beta growth stocks have been washed out. If you want an actual lesson on this, there's one for free online. It's called Valuation by Damodaran. And Professor Damodaran is probably one of the most famous and sought after professors at the Stern School of Business at NYU right here in New York City. And if you take his security analysis course or his corporate finance course, you'll kind of learn a lot of these concepts. Now, unfortunately, not everybody has the ability to get an MBA at NYU, but Professor Damodaran posts all of his courses and all of his lectures online for free. So you could actually take the final, by the way, too. You obviously won't get credit for the course, but if you just want to learn, just go to Professor Damodaran's YouTube page, and he's archived all of his courses. So if you want to follow along with an MBA level security analysis or corporate finance course, you can do that for free. And you can go to his Substack and download the final exam. And you could take the final exam for yourself. You could build some of these models. It's good practice, right? Especially if you're, running your own money or you want to work in finance. It's really, really good. This is Del Frisco's. Hey, Troy Atman, what's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. Terry, welcome. Susan M. Peters' Dow futures are up about 250. NASDAQ 104 and S&P up about 25. Sonfire says Zoom is used in telehealth. Speaking of telehealth, who remembers the company Teladoc? Ticker symbol TDOC, Teladoc. That was another one of those companies that was a top performer in COVID and now is trading at 52-week lows. I actually don't even know where Teladoc is trading at right now. I actually used to own that stock when it was rocking during 2021. I couldn't even tell you where it's trading at now. At one time, the former company I used to work for, we were about to sign a massive deal, a monster deal with Teladoc. It didn't happen because our deal got squashed because some other company was in talks with buying Teladoc at the time. So our deal kind of got destroyed, but it was going to be a big partnership with Teladoc and a lot of these home healthcare companies. Brenton Long says Teladoc trading at $10. Holy crap. That's insane. Anyway, guys, this is the Christmas tree outside of News Corporation or Fox News. Wow, someone says Zoom was blocked at my telehealth job because it is not secure enough. Crazy. Hey Shane, thank you so much for your $2 donation. We will zoom up to the spire of the World Trade Center right now. Terry says Othswat Damodaran, just found him. I'll look through his videos. Yeah, check out all of his videos. He's a really, really good professor. Again, he teaches at the Stern School of Business right here at NYU. And if you look through the About Me page on his YouTube channel, it'll bring you to all of his coursework. So you could download the syllabus, you could actually download the midterm and the final exam and take it yourself. So guys, this is the studio where they filmed The Five. Is anybody familiar with the show The Five on Fox News? Jessica Tarlov and the like. They film it right here. I think this is kind of the couch that they all sit around. Hey, Tony P, this is crazy. I just walked past that tree yesterday. Just got back. I should be back in Florida as well after Thanksgiving. Alan says I watch it daily, religiously. Well, this is where they film it, right here, literally. In this studio. And the backdrop is Radio City Music Hall. This is the New York City Diamond District. I know, Tim's great location. It's an awesome location. Very centrally located. This is my old office building here on the corner of West 46th Street. We used to work right under one of the top quantitative hedge funds, D.E. Shaw. Used to be right here in the Marsh McLennan building. But just like a lot of other businesses, are kind of vacating some of the older office buildings, and they're signing really large leases in these brand new Class A office towers. So D.E. Shaw has now moved from 1166 Avenue of the Americas to I was about to say 1 Central Park South. No, not 1 Central Park South. They have moved to 1 Manhattan West, which is that massive skyscraper right in the Hudson Yards. Troy Atman says, Tom, do you watch CNBC the most? Tom, do you watch CNBC the most? Or is there a different channel / show you watch? I'll have CNBC on in the background, but I'll only really listen into it if it's somebody that I'm interested in. And I'm really interested in mostly, here's some derelicts. Hopefully hopefully Trump will kick them out of the country soon. They're shooting me with something. Oh, I think it's water. I actually don't know what that is. Anyway, hopefully Trump will get them out of here soon. But yeah, a lot of the those big companies are moving to Class A office towers, like Hudson Yards. Shane, sorry about that. Yeah, I'll zoom in on the World Trade Center spire right now. So I'm not too sure if it's a rainbow, but it does look pretty nice. It's a pretty clear night. So you can see all the way to the spire. Oh my God. Emmanuel says, I can't wait to see Alex Jones host MSNBC. Oh, well, let's hope not. How crazy nuts would that be? Troy Atman says, will we be streaming the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I'm not too sure. I would say maybe. I may go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year. Who knows? Hopefully. We'll see if we can. Lewis says, why is there vapor coming out of the sewers? I don't think it's vapor. I think it's steam from the subways. Wow, look at that. Really nice blue spire on the Empire. Man, that looks awesome. Hey, Western Mass Dave. What's going on? Thank you so much. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We have about 60,000 people which I am grateful for. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Dave, any Thanksgiving plans? Anything interesting? This is Bryant Park, Winter Village. Maybe we'll take a quick peek at Times Square. Maybe there's some Christmas stuff, holiday stuff out. Shady Cooper, what's up? Good to see you. This is Bank of America Tower. Maybe we'll make a left on Broadway and then that'll bring us to Herald Square. We'll check out Macy's. Macy's is going to be reporting earnings next week too, along with Abercrombie, Best Buy. We'll see how they fare. Shady's is telling me you going to SantaCon. Not a big SantaCon guy. I don't really like partying and I don't really like alcohol. So, not a big fan. When is that, by the way? Usually it's on a weekend, right? I'm just more of a quiet individual. I don't really like all the ruckus. Hey Shane, thank you so much for the $2 donation. You are correct. Yeah, the H&M building's coming up right now. We're actually walking past it. I think you have BMO Capital Markets here at 151 West 42nd Street. We'll check out the NASDAQ. Pretty soon we're going to see the numerals here. The 2025 numerals. It's kind of insane to think about, but it's going to be 2025. Incredible. This is the Hard Rock Hotel. I think 2025 is going to be a big year. We'll do one quick lap around this area, Times Square. And then we'll head back down to Macy's. Oh, this is cool. Look at that. This is one Times Square. This is where they dropped the ball. And this is the NASDAQ, just to the left, on the corner of West 43rd Street and Broadway. Okay, let's head down 7th. It's a pretty busy night in Times Square. Let's cross to the left, just since we missed the light. Shell says it looks like people are still carrying bags. Are they buying things? Well, we'll know this week when we have a lot of the big retailers reporting. I guess it just depends on where they're buying from, right? I guess consumers are a little bit more selective now. I mean, Walmart crushed it. People are buying products and services and things like that from Walmart. Not so much Target. We're going to get Macy's, Best Buy, Abercrombie. That's what I'm most interested in. I'm most interested to see their outlook on holiday spending. Yeah, Western Mass Dave's Target seems not to be doing well, not at all. I think this was one of their worst earnings reports, I think since 2014. I think the stock was down about 20% on earnings, but Walmart is really crushing it. I think you'll just have, again, like everything else in this economy, is very bifurcated. So the drugstores are going to continue to do very poorly, like Walgreens will probably go to zero. It's on its way to zero. It'll get there. It still has, $8 more to go? But it'll get there. CVS, similarly, it'll trend towards that. Maybe there'll be some sort of merger. And more people will start to shop at Amazon, Walmart. Those will probably be the massive two players. But again, the biggest key is going to be the delivery, right? Home delivery, in-store pickup. Things like that. Yeah, Tim, Costco too. Costco's killing it. And Costco, I think this was on their last earnings quarter, they raised their membership price too. So they're really, really killing it. It's a good point. Obviously, Sam's Club is under the same umbrella as Walmart. And I believe Alice Walton is the richest woman on the planet Earth, who is the heir to the Walmart fortune. Yeah, Bruce K makes a really good point. Bruce K says Amazon has their own brand basics. No one will be going to premium stores when Walmart and Amazon exists. Strong names to hold. Yeah, and really the double up on Amazon, if you own Amazon, which most people do, is you own a hyperscaler, right? Amazon AWS, which drives the majority of the earnings power for the company. Now, you know what stock has really fallen out of favor? And this is a stock I used to own. By the way, I used to have a pretty big position in this in the 2021 bull market. Does anybody want to guess what it is? It has to do with e-commerce. And I've just totally, because look, when a stock falls out of a certain parameter, I just totally drop it from my watch list, so I don't even know it exists really. Hey, this is Kava. This is a stock I initiated coverage on that company about 6 months ago. Yeah, Shopify. Bruce K, you're correct. Ticker symbol SHOP. Where's that company trading at now? Anybody know? I would love to see a nice weekly chart of Shopify. But that was a stock that corrected, I think, 70+%, I believe. It's $106? Okay. Well, Bruce, what was Shopify's all-time high? I think it was like $1,000, maybe like $1,400. Must have had a stock split. I wish I had my other phone. But yeah, Shopify, way back in the day. Maybe it'll make a comeback. When I get back to the office, I'm going to do some work on that company. Yeah, Bruce K, $176. Don't know the split ratio. I remember Shopify hit $1,000. But you're right. It must have split. I just totally fallen off the radar for me. We'll see. Now that's a Canadian company, right? Shopify? JK, Toronto, yeah. I'll have to do some work on it. Sabrina Ferris' Shopify all-time high was 169, which means pre-split probably puts it at around $1,400, which makes sense. Here's Shake Shack, ticker symbol SHAK. But I mean, Kava has been, I'll have to go back and do the math on it, but I think this is probably one of my biggest winners for the year. JK says Dell, still good value. Well, we're going to find out this week. I think Michael Dell and company reports earnings this week. Speaking about, semiconductors, hyperscalers, cloud computing, I mentioned this at the very beginning of the live stream. Guys, you got to go to Investors Business Daily and read their cover story for the week. Their cover story was Oracle. It was an unbelievable article. Obviously, everybody knows the story of Larry Ellison and Oracle, how they kind of resisted the main transition to the cloud when AWS really was the first mover, right? Jeff Bezos has written about that at length. How AWS had just this weird first mover advantage everybody was kind of behind the 8 ball on cloud computing. And Larry Ellison of Oracle said well, he didn't use the term stupid, but he was just totally dismissive of the cloud. Oracle had a really, really poor last, I would say, 7+ years. And then they've completely transformed the company to a cloud-first focus. And now Oracle Cloud is the fastest growing cloud provider. Obviously, right, that's a little bit unfair to say because it just doesn't have the market share that AWS or Azure has. But Oracle is probably one to own. All right, here we are at Macy's. But I'm going to be doing a full analysis, guys, on our newsletter on Thursday. If you want to sign up for our free investing newsletter, you can just type !news, NEWS, in the chat, and it'll take you to our Substack. The LT Prods Dell should pick up some business from Supermicro, hopefully. Or you could just scan the QR code on your screen. This is a pretty cool shot of the Empire State Building. So yeah, so we're probably not going to send that out on Thursday, actually, because it's Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll send it out on Tuesday. So if you want to receive all of our free investing research, just scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email. Maybe we'll send it out Tuesday, or maybe I'll just push it to next week and everybody can just enjoy their Thanksgiving. Wow, Reggie 44 says Robinhood over $37. I think Coin and Robinhood are similar to Schwab back in the day. Hey, JK, so I hope to run into you next weekend. Yeah, I mean, whenever you're in the city, let me know. The best way to get in contact with me is through Twitter or X. Just send me a DM on X. And if I'm in the office and if I'm around, we'll grab coffee. I'm down. Totally down. I'm in. Yeah, Western Mass Dave, I didn't really want to be a Debbie Downer. But I think I agree with you. The windows are not as good as last year, but they are quite nice. It's more of a Valentine's Day theme. Oh, that's cool. If you press the button there, it'll take your picture and then it'll put it. That's actually really nice. So if you press the button there at the bottom right, it'll take your photo and then it'll project it in the box. That's kind of cool, actually. I didn't know that just until right now. Hey, what's up, Raymond? Leslie, this sounds like you have the sniffles, Tom, from walking in the heavy rain the other day. I think it's just that it's very windy right now. You guys can't tell that it's windy right now because I have the wind microphone on, but it is very, very windy. I do like how they incorporated the dreidel here for all of our... Oops, hold on. Oops, sorry about that. I was saying I like how they incorporated the dreidel there for all of our Jewish listeners and viewers. All right, let's check out the other ones. Oops. I don't know. I'm getting this notification on the phone that says we're only streaming in 720p, but I think that's just a glitch on my end. Let me see. Let's check out the main stage over at Macy's now. So once we make a right here, maybe the street will still be closed down, but maybe not. Do you guys remember last night they closed down the entire street? It looks like they reopened it. Huh. That's strange. Anyway, we'll get to see the finished product of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the stage. Hey, what's up, Cosmo? Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Cosmo, I don't know if I asked you this already, but have you been to that new tea shop that just opened up near Herald Square called Hey Tea, Heytea? That's a good spot. I think you'd like it. I was there just earlier this evening. And here we have Tom the Turkey here. Looks pretty cool, right? Wow, guys, look at this. Say again? Oh no, I'm just filming it. Yeah.
I wanted to go across over. I'm afraid I'll get.
No, I think you'll be all right. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, so we were watching them put this up yesterday. This is kind of cool. And you can't even notice. I mean, this looks like it was painted on there. It's crazy how it extends all the way down, right? Look at that. Why is everybody posting the same thing in the chat? Anyway, well, look at that. What do you guys think? What a unique shot that is. You have the Macy's turkey with the Empire State Building. Super unique, right? super nice. Now, for those of you who don't know, I don't know why we're getting spammed with bots tonight. Anyway, this looks like it's painted on here, but it's not. It's 3M tape, and they roll it out and they kind of squeegee it on. Ooh, I think that cop just caught that guy for speeding. Anyway, so this is the main stage here. So when you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you'll be able to see it. Ooh, look at this guy all the way up here. All right, everyone, let's head back to 5th Avenue. Photos from around New York. All right, guys, I think we'll probably call it a night. And we'll pick things back up tomorrow. Sanders says, Tom, what do you think of Hood at 36? I can't make any recommendations to buy or sell anything, but what I can tell you is I wrote a entire thesis on Robinhood and Coinbase, comparing it to the similar growth trajectory of Charles Schwab when Charles Schwab IPO'd. I think there's some interesting similarities there. So check it out. It's free. It's on our Substack. You're more than welcome to read it. I think over the long term, Robinhood will be the Charles Schwab for the Gen Z and the millennials. And the reason why I think that is because you've caught it like right at a generation turning moment where the Generation Z crowd is about to graduate college, right? And that means they're going to get jobs. And when you get a job out of college, most times they offer you some sort of 401k retirement plan. And I think those are going to go to Robinhood, because the Gen Zers, as they were in college, they were kind of caught up in the meme stock movement, which Robinhood really capitalized on, kind of gamified trading. Not saying I'm for that, I'm actually against that, but the amount of money flowing into Robinhood, the amount of new account creation is huge. Robinhood is being very crypto focused, which tends to cater to younger people as well. So I think you see some very interesting similarities between Robinhood and Charles Schwab, as well as Coinbase. If you want to read our entire thesis on that, you could scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and it'll take you to our Substack. But we'll pick this up and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So Sandra, thank you so much for joining Professor Dario. Even though we had a little bit of a bot attack tonight, I think it was still an enjoyable stream. Mike G, I want to be GMO, thank you so much. Steph UF, appreciate it. Emma. And guys, thank you so much for 60,000 people. We are now 60,000 strong right here on Walks on Wall Street, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate all of you. And we will see you tomorrow. Signing off from New York City.